and happy Monday to you. Welcome to our powerful potential personal development call. Sharona out of Maryland. I heard you getting in there in the last minute, so definitely want to recognize you as a new member of our tribe. So glad to have you on this call this morning. As we get started, I just wanted to give a reminder of the intention of this call and what we get from this call every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, because we have a lot of new people. So this is our powerful potential personal development call. And a lot of the concepts that you hear on this call introduce you, to your greatness, to your power. And it helps to give you the mindset to help you to walk in that power. A lot of what you hear on this call is nothing new. It's things that you have heard before, and it's a great reminder, that repetition that is needed to help you to just to remember to walk in that greatness every day. And then there are things that you hear that may challenge some beliefs. It may help you to accept new, better, empowering beliefs, or give you a new way, new perspective of looking at things. So this is a call that's not just about information. It's not just about, rah-rah, get pumped up motivation. But we have a combination of, yes, there is some motivation. People are inspired, so there's inspiration. You get education, and you learn things that I believe that are more valuable than even a college education. And so we put all those things together. And we've been doing this call as a way to empower people for 3 years now. So feel free to invite people to this call. This call is not connected to any certain company, any certain organization. People from all walks of life, from all different companies and schools of thoughts and nationalities and religions and whatever, dial into our powerful potential personal development call. And so we've been working through The Magic of Thinking Big by David Schwartz. But today I decided to do something different. Tomorrow is Independence Day. So today we're going to have a discussion that relates to freedom. And when we open up the call at the end where you guys get to share, we're going to have you to share things as it relates to what freedom means to you. But getting free is so important. There's this poem I heard Bob Proctor say, and he said, it went something like, if I want to be free, I've got to be me. Not the me that you think I should be, not the me that my spouse thinks I should be, not the me that my kids think I should be. If I want to be free, I've got to be me. Being free is so important, and being you is so important. Not living up to who others believe that you should be, what they think you should act like and be doing, but you reclaiming your own personal power for why you showed up on this earth, that purpose that only you are here to fulfill, and you need to walk in that. If you want to be free, you've got to figure out who you are, who is me, and then live in that authenticness of the real you. And yesterday at church, my pastor was talking about freedom, and so he was saying how, he's very patriotic. 4th of July, we do things that have to do with celebrating the greatness of this country, and he went to talk about how, yes, this is a great country despite its flaws. We can still be proud of the USA. It is a great country in the whole scheme of things. But in its greatness, we have to admit that in the process of this country being formed, there were a whole bunch of people who got displaced, right? And in the process, he says there was a whole group of people who came along for the ride that didn't want to come. We know what that speaks to, right? But even in that, and those issues need to be talked about and addressed, this is the land of freedom. When people look around the world, they're like, oh, I want to get to the U.S. because there I can have financial freedom. There I can do what I want to do. So this morning we're going to talk about you becoming free. Because there are a whole lot of people who are in the free country, but you're not really free in body and mind. So if you're going to be here in the freest nation in the world, you've got to get free on your own personal level. So let's talk about that this morning. Getting free. Free from what? Well, free from a lot of things. You got to become free to be able to see and use the opportunities that are all around us. There are some people who are just locked up in a prison, and we'll talk about that a little later. But if you're in a free country, you got to understand, guys, opportunity is all around you. But it's up to you to be able to see it and use the opportunity to better your life and the lives of those around you. You should be free to take control of your life with purpose. Walk in that power. You've got to take the reins back of your life, take control of your life, and you've got to take responsibility for some of those twilight zone moments and situations that you may be in. You know how we say, hear the sound, do-noo-noo-noo, do-noo-noo-noo. There may be some situations that you are in right now and you feel just like maybe hopeless. You feel like, oh, my gosh, I'm just locked into this horrible marriage, or these living conditions are just not congenial for me, or locked into that job, or whatever it may be. But you've got to be free to take responsibility for that perceived bad situation and make a choice that is better for you and make a choice that is better for everyone. And then when you make that choice, you've got to be able to act on it. You make a decision, and then you make something happen. Well, you've got to have freedom to declare this. This is my life, and I want to live it. Don't a lot of times we just start living life for other people, especially, moms, I'm not going to leave out the dads too, but we start just having children and like everything is for them, and then we lose ourselves in our motherhood. Sometimes you may lose yourself to your job or whatever, and you're just thinking, oh, I got to sacrifice for other people, and then you lose your own way. But you've got to be free to declare that this is my life. I want to live it on my terms without doing harm to others. Okay, we want to make sure we're doing that. We're not stepping on people in our way to doing our own thing without doing harm to others. Have that freedom to declare, this is my life. I want you guys to make sure that you're writing some of these things down, because I don't want you just to listen, but I want you to take notes as we go along, because some of these concepts you need to embrace, because you've got to get your freedom today on all types of levels. A lot of people are locked into this prison. And it's really a mental prison. There's like really no guards and the gates are open. The doors are unlocked, but you're staying in that little prison. It's time to get some freedom this morning. Live a life of freedom. Now let's contemplate, what does that mean to you? Write that down. You may not have time to contemplate it right now as I'm talking, but you can come back to that thought and you think, what does living a life of freedom actually mean to me? If I think back for the last 10 years and people say, well, what do you really want? That word for me, freedom, just sums up like a core value in my life. What are the core values in your life? For me, freedom is one. So for me, it would be, being able to wake up when I'm done sleeping. And if I choose to wake up 5 o'clock because it helps me have a more productive day, then I do it, but it is my choice. And then I say, think of freedom to be able to basically do what I want to do when I want to do it. But I know if I want to live in that freedom, there's some decisions I have to make and some actions that I need to take. I'm going to talk to you. I'm going to give you 3 areas that I believe that we need to have a greater level of freedom. One is we need to take responsibility for our health. If we want to live a life of freedom, you've got to take responsibility for your health. Get control of that health. And here's why. Poor health limits your freedom. Poor health limits where you can go. Poor health limits how you get to play with your loved ones. Maybe you want to be running around behind your children and your great-grandchildren, but if you're on an oxygen tank because you didn't be proactive in your health early on and you smoked cigarette or whatever it may have been, then you can't run around and chase your great-grandchildren like you want to. Poor health limits your freedom. But when we have a greater level of health, it gives us choices to do more. Poor health limits our options. Optimal health, being healthy, gives you more options. So in reclaiming your freedom today, I challenge you to take greater responsibility for your health, because I'm telling you guys, when we are young, oftentimes we take our health for granted. But then as things move on, we know that there are people who have experienced or are experiencing great health challenges. They would give up all of their money to have that feel-good feeling of optimal health. We've got to learn to say no to the donut. We say no to the ice cream. Not all the time. I'm not saying to totally deny yourself, but we got to learn to make better choices today so that we can have a better life tomorrow. And our food choices really are an important part of that. Our supplement choices are an important part of that. So much time, nobody has taught us, and I'm going way off of what I was supposed to be talking about, but health is so important to me. But nobody really trained our community to have a budget for our wellness, have a budget for our health. So we think I can't afford to when it comes to things that keep us healthy. We can't afford not to. So many times you'll pay now or you pay later. You're going to either pay money to stay healthy now or you're going to pay the price to be sick later. Put your money into the prevention so you can stay free in your body. Let me move on from that, but that was an important one. Then, as it relates to freedom, I want you guys to start working on creating freedom in your work. You know, you need to be able to love what you do. And I think about so many people who for decades at a time, they're locked in a prison of getting up every day, going to a pursuit that they would rather not go to. That is no freedom. You've got to get your freedom by finding or creating work that you love. Finding, so maybe you want a better job, so you find the work that you love. Maybe you don't want a job, and you have to create the work that you love. With the power, with the internet, guys, oh my gosh. For the internet, when did the internet start? 1996, 95, I forget. But in the last 20-some years, do you know how much more opportunity there is out here? Nobody should be broke at all. Opportunity is all around us. But you've got to get free by finding or creating work that you love. Money also gives you options, and in this, doing the work that you love, I would suggest that you have a bigger thought of abundance as well, so that you can bring in the abundance of the universe. Know that there are no limits to the money that you can bring in. There are no limits to what you deserve financially, and that you build yourself a heap of financial abundance, and not just a heap on yourself, but so that you can impact the world in a great way, add more value to it, and understand that when you have money, there's a freedom that comes with it because money gives you options. And then the third thing I want to talk about this morning is having freedom of mind. I'm going to spend most of the time here, and then after this we're going to open up the call. Freedom of mind. This is where it all starts. Everything starts in the mind. So sometimes we can be a prisoner to our own thoughts. Most times people are. Being a prisoner to our own thoughts, and we forget that we have the power to choose. There have been times when a situation has happened and you just think the situation is all that it is, and you forgot your power. You didn't claim that freedom that you have in having the power to choose. So understand that you can choose a different thought. You can choose a different experience, okay? You don't like where you live right now. You don't like the money that's not in your bank account right now, that you're on E or on negative. You may not like whatever situation, that relationship or whatever. You can choose a different experience. And you can choose a different interpretation. When you change the way you look at things, everything you look at changes. So you can change your perception, your view of the world, how you see things. Choose a different interpretation. And write down this empowering question. This is a very empowering question you can ask yourself as we talk about the freedom of mind. Ask yourself, what is another way that I can look at this? What is another way that I can look at this? So many times things happen, and we're in the situation, and you think that's all that it is. But if I was your therapist, I would say, okay, what's another way that you can look at it? And then you would think and come up with another way. And then after that, I would ask you another question and give me another way that you can look at it. You see, so there's always another perspective. There's always another perspective of what we are seeing than what we think we are seeing with our natural eye. So don't let your habitual way of thinking hold you captive. There's a certain way that you think. There are certain thought patterns is ingrained in just, in your subconscious. But don't let your habitual way of thinking hold you captive. Just because you've always thought in this certain way doesn't mean that you have to continue thinking in that certain way. If you find that there are new ways of thinking, new beliefs that are better, that will empower you, choose the new and better that serves you. So ask yourself this question: is this way of thinking serving me or not? Wow. Isn't that awesome, guys? When you can start to help yourself through situations and you get locked in this thought and you're starting to feel so bad and you're getting depressed, you hold up, give yourself a checkup from the neck up. Ask yourself, Boomy, is this way of thinking serving me or not? You say, Roxanne, is this way of thinking serving you or not? Ask yourself that, and then make the better choice. If it's serving you, then keep on thinking it. If it's not serving you, choose a better thought. And so when things happen and you feel taken advantage of and you're real mad and you're pissed off because you feel like somebody did something to you, now here's decision time. You have a decision to make. You can ask yourself, which thought feels better? What interpretation serves me the best? Because remember, you can interpret what you're looking at and what you're thinking in different ways. So you can think this. You can think, everything always goes my way. Things always work out for me. Or you can think, I just got screwed. It's up to you. And both can be equally true. Things always work for me, and I just got screwed. So you can think, oh, my gosh, I'm pissed off. I just got screwed. However, everything always goes my way, and I know that there is, in this bad situation, a seed of a greater benefit for me. So everything always works out for me. That could be your thought. But which thought are you going to choose? Which thought serves you? That's what you have to ask yourself. Which thought serves me? Which one puts out the type of energy that I want to embrace in the world? I'm going to say that again. Ask yourself this. What thought puts out the type of energy that I want to embrace in the world? And choose that one. Because if you embrace the I just got screwed, well, what you're saying is somebody else has dominion over my life. That's what you're saying. If you keep replaying that tape, man, they did me in. I got taken advantage of. He just screwed me over. That means somebody else is taking dominion over your life. That is not an empowering thought. Don't stay there. That is not being on the frequency of your dream. Somebody screwed me, somebody screwed me, somebody screwed me over. Okay, now you're saying that. You're putting out that energy. Guess what? Law of attraction. You get what you focus on. You're going to get more people doing you in. But if you think things always work out for me, things always work out for me, I know things always work out for me, then you're on the frequency of I dictate my life because I know my future holds a great experience. Wow. I know my future holds a great experience. I ain't even worrying about it because I may not know how it's going to happen, but my future always holds a great experience. Things always work out for me. So this is just, a step. I can't see all the pieces, but I know that there is a great benefit in this that's coming to me. So understand that the first thought that comes to your mind, it doesn't have to run your life. See, nobody teaches us. That's why I call myself, people say, you're a life coach. No, I'm not a life coach, right? But I can call myself a thought coach. I like teaching people how to think. Everything that started in the mind, I thought is so important. So the first thought that comes to you, you don't have to run with that. And it doesn't have to run your life, but nobody teaches us this. We're just like, we let our thoughts run us, and we get this thought, and we just go with it. And nobody has taught you to question your own thoughts, to think about what you're thinking about, to discard a thought and choose a new empowering one. So the first thought that comes to your mind, you don't have to run with. You can choose differently. And, guys, this is freedom. We're talking about freedom. This is freedom, freedom of interpretation. How am I going to interpret this situation? My boss just said did this thing. He said this thing on the job. How am I going to interpret this? You got to have the freedom to dictate your own life, freedom to choose thoughts that can liberate you from your own limited thinking. Whatever it is, if you feel stuck, it's because of the thoughts you've been thinking. So just like you've been choosing the thoughts that have been keeping you where you're at, so starting this very moment, you can make a decision to take the limits off and just think something better for your life. Think something better for your life. So what freedom, this is how I summarize freedom. Here's real freedom. It's the ability to take what's been handed to us, and rather than say what's been handed to us, I'm going to say what has been created by us. That's a whole nother road that we can go down because whatever we're living right now, we have created it. But just say take the ability to have the ability to take what has been handed to us and turn it into something else. Oh, my gosh. I'm so excited. I get so excited about this because I can think about times in my life when I've been in situations that did not feel good, that did not serve me, that I didn't want. And you can either be like, oh, God, I'm just in it, or you can be empowered and free and say, I'm going to shift this. I'm going to change this. I'm not going to acquiesce to this. I'm going to surmount this. Woo! That's power, and that's freedom. Freedom to decide what to do with information. Information from the TV, housing starts are down. Information from the TV saying that unemployment is at an all-time high. So most people buy into what the TV says. But if you are free, you understand you got the freedom to decide what to do with the information. You can look at it as an outside observer and say that's for them, not for me. I'm not going to claim that. You know what? It's easy for me to find a job. I don't have a lot of value to offer to the world, so I'm going to go out here despite what they say, and I'll have a job within a week. So you've got the freedom to decide what to do with information. You've got freedom for how you interpret your life. Interpret your life. Are you a victim? Are you living that victim mentality? Woe is me. Everybody is just out to get me. Or are you interpreting your life in this empowering way? Man, I'm learning some great lessons here, and I'm going to make sure that I learn the lesson so I won't have to repeat this lesson because it don't feel good. I'm going to just learn this thing real quick, and I'm going to move on to something better. So you got the freedom for how you interpret your life.
Hang up and try again. If you need help, hang up and then dial your operator.
And it sounds like I may have somebody on my moderator side. All right, and as I start ending, also, guys, you have the freedom to dictate your future. You take control, right? You say you have the power, understanding that you are a co-creator in this experience with God. He is the ultimate number one creator, but he's giving you creative power, so you are creating, co-creating with God. And we have the freedom to change our minds and make new decisions. I love that. The freedom to change our minds and make new decisions. You know, Percy says you change your mindset, you change your situation. You change your mind, you can change your life. Maybe the situations, maybe the decisions we've made up until this point in life have not served us, but it's a new day and we can make new decisions. So all of this it's a choice. It is just a choice. Everybody can make the choice. It doesn't matter where you are right now. If you're in the depths of poverty, you can raise yourself up. If you're already a millionaire, you can get another million. It's just about choice. And in choosing and in knowing you have the power to choose, that is where you find your freedom. So with that, guys, I'm going to open up the call, and it's all about freedom this morning. I'd love for you all to share. 60 seconds. We keep it generic, no company names, any aha moments, anything you'd like to add from the call. Quickly, you know, what does freedom mean to you? How have you started getting your freedom? What kind of freedom-filled life are you planning on having in the future? Hey, who's that first person like to share this morning?
Elaine. Good morning, Dr. Bunny Moore.
Good morning. Who is that?
This is Carmencita from Columbus, Georgia.
Hey, go ahead, Carmencita.
You asked, I'm going to make it quick, 60 seconds. You asked the question when you first opened up the line, what living a life of freedom means to you. And living a life of freedom means, to me, is being free from the cares and the words of this world, meaning don't let bills consume me and stress me out so bad till it causes me to be locked in bondage of worrying about things that I have no control of. Pay what I can, and all that I can't pay, don't worry about it, but pray about it. And also the life of freedom for me is being and living who God created me to be. Don't be distracted and blinded by the glamorous looks of what I see on TV and the others around me, but be free by loving me, celebrating me, serenading me, understanding me, and embracing me. This is what the life of freedom for me means to me. Thank you so much for allowing me to speak on your powerful potential development call, Dr. Bunny Moore.
Oh, my gosh, that was so powerful. Thank you so much for sharing what freedom means to you this morning, Carmencita. That was powerful. Appreciate you for being a part of our tribe. Who's next to share this morning?
Elaine Jackson. How you doing?
Hey, I heard Elaine and then Erica.
Yes, this is Elaine. Good morning, everyone. Boomy, I just wanted to let you know that I had a job for many years. It was a very large corporation, and I kept trying to make more money, get raises, and I just was totally held down, and I just was feeling so depressed and blaming the manager and everything. As soon as I started my own business and I got a consulting position making 3 times as much, I could not even remember the manager's name. The whole time I'm complaining, he did this to me, he did that. And then someone asked me about him, and I said, who is he? And it just, the money erased everything. And, you know, it's weird. I don't want to make it about money, but for me, when I have money, I'm free to help people. I'm free to do things. But when I don't have it, I'm just down and out. So I want to encourage those who are feeling that people tell you, oh, you shouldn't be so focused on money. Focus on what is going to give you the life that you want so that you can be happy. That's all I have to say. Thank you.
I love it. Powerful. Thank you for sharing that, Elaine. Awesome testimony. Congratulations on up-leveling your life, lady. That was awesome. Thank you. Hey, Erica. You can share.
Can you hear me?
I sure can.
Hey, I just want to elaborate on the choose. You have the decision to choose. I tell people all the time, that when I came to Houston, it was really just a conscious decision. I made that I wanted better for my family. And I wasn't nowhere near where I am now in personal development. Matter of fact, I was just starting out with you, and that was in 2013, 2014. And so I wasn't as near as I was now, but I made a conscious decision to say, hey, I want to leave Detroit. I want to go to Texas. I remember telling you, like, I don't know how I'm going to do it. I was scared to come here because I didn't know what condition my mother was in. It was just a lot. It was like I could not even see the money that it took to get here. And the money stuff just started falling in place. Stuff just started happening. And because I finally made a decision to do it. And until you make a decision to do something, you're going to always forever feel stuck. And I just don't ever want to feel stuck like that ever again. So I always, so when people tell me that, well, I can't move, and I'm like, you can't move, because if I did it with nothing and got here with nothing, I had my daughter here before I got here, and she was looking for houses. When we first got here, the house had mice. The landlord I begged him, please just, if you give me what's left on a deposit, I will go. I will leave today. And just so happened, I just ran across another house that was for rent and available. But you just have to make a decision and go. And that's why I appreciate when I feel like I can't do something and I run across somebody that did it before me, I listen to them when they tell me if they could do it, I could do it, because I know if I could do something, somebody else could do it.
Absolutely. Thank you for sharing that power of choice. And I don't have time to go get into this, but I just got to give Erica some kudos, because she is choosing to have a good attitude and outlook in a situation that I know I got other friends who it would be like complaining every single day. They would be wallowing in their misery. Why this happened to me. And Erica, through, like right now she's a hospital, wife, going through a lot of challenges with her husband, but just her aura, you would not know it. And that is the power of her choosing. She can choose a whole totally different road that she could be going down. But she's amazing. The choices she's making in that decision, I want you to be so proud of yourself, Erica, and see this as wins in your life, because the average person would not be handling the situation the way you are. So I really applaud you for that. Hey, who's the next person that'd like to share this morning?
Hey, this is Al from Boston.
Hey, I think Percy and then Al. Is that Percy? Okay, I thought I heard a gentleman right there with you, Al. Go ahead, Al.
Hey, this morning is just another reminder about us having choices of how we want to live. You reminded us again, which is a reason why I know the days that I need to get that reminder of the choices that I have decided to make, and that is to be free, to be independent, to actually have a choice when my mind is telling me, that you could be further. You're not where you want to be, and just knowing though that as I look at my notes and I hear your voice and your instructions to remind me that I do have a choice, and that is deciding that whatever voices are coming in my head that are not going to be beneficial to me, I need to switch that. I need to change that, and I need to apply what I can do. And, when it comes to my thinking, there's something called stinking thinking, and I don't want this stinking thinking. And just your reminder that, to change it, it just means so much for me. Just to hear it, even though I know it, but to apply it when I sit here and I listen to you, it tells me, no, you do have a choice. You have a choice to, change your mindset. So, again, I want to thank you again for just helping me start my Monday to bloom, even right before 4th of July. So thank you so much.
You are welcome. It is my pleasure, and I thank you for, I think it was last Monday when Al said most people have the Monday blues, but we should have the Monday blooms. I love that thought. Blooming makes you think about, opening up and life-giving. We're going to have the Monday blooms today because we're going to make choices that are, as Al said, beneficial for us. So thank you for sharing. We'll take one more person. Anybody else before we go?
CCC.
Yeah, good morning, Boone. This is Miles.
Hey, okay, I'll go CCC and then Miles.
All right, thank you, Boomy, for giving me a chance to say something. I've been quiet. I guess a few new people might not know that CCC means Cash Coach Clay. Anyway, I just wanted to emphasize the fact that time freedom is extremely important to me. Being able to choose my day, we all get 24 hours, and how do we use them? I get to choose all 24 hours later this week, and we have to be responsible for our time and do those things that are necessary to make life worth living, and that does involve money. So we've got to choose the right people to work with, and the biggest thing about time freedom for me is I get to choose to spend the time with my loved ones, and it also includes travel. So I just wanted to share that time freedom is extremely important. And one last thing before I get out the way is excuses. Perceptions are more important than reality, and those excuses that we have usually are things that we really truly believe. Those of us who are serious about doing the right things in life. I've been using an excuse about a job, and to me, it was real. That excuse, I just couldn't do some things because my perception was that job was just taking too many hours out of my day. I'll let it go at that.
Hey, thank you for adding the value to the call. I love it. Just having the freedom to choose your day, that's so empowering, and he's so right. Perception is more important than reality. Key point, make sure you guys write that down. And we can perceive things the way that we decide that we want to perceive them. Hey, let's see. Miles, that's right. Miles, well, in with you.
All right. Hey, thank you very much. Great words, Cash Coach Clay. I can hardly say that. So I like the triple C. The triple C helps me. All right. Hey, just wanted to conclude with some thoughts. My choices in life, be it good or bad, but I'm focusing on making upgrades on choices each day. I find myself making better and better decisions, and that's where personal freedom is in your personal autonomy. Your ability to live free is contingent upon your ability to choose good thoughts. And none of us can say, well, I can't think a certain way. No, you can think anything you want to think. Yeah. You have to discipline yourself. And so I'm so grateful. I want to say this, as we think about Independence Thoughts and Independence Day coming up tomorrow, I am so grateful, and I mean this from the bottom of my heart, that, quote, I stumbled across your call and your this type of thing a few years ago. I mean, and just an incredible inflection, the divine crossing of paths, because now all of a sudden there is a conscious interrupt on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday where I consciously interrupt. And it's not an interruption. It started as an interruption. Now it is a plan, a divine plan to make certain that I choose my independence on a daily basis. And I know everybody on the line is saying amen to that. So, okay, thank you very much. Have a great day.
Awesome. Thank you for sharing, Miles. I receive that gratitude into my heart. I do not take it for granted. Thank you so much for expressing that. And it was divine that you came across our tribe here and are a part of it and add so much value. Guys, I love the end part of this call, just to hear you all's feedback and to give other insights and to share testimonies and adding value. So definitely continue like you're doing. No, we only have a few people who normally drop off at the end after I've finished speaking, but I think you guys add so much value, and while we can't get everybody, I try to get in somewhere between 3 to 5 to 6 people each time. That's why we keep it to about 60 seconds. But remember, we have a tribe on Facebook. So if you go into Power Personified Tribe, if you're not a member, become a member. In the search bar, type in Power Personified Tribe. I will approve you, and we can continue the conversation there. In the groups, sometimes people make videos, they post memes, they may just put out a post that they type, but that is definitely a forum to continue to maybe express something that you didn't get time to do here on this call, to uplift people, to be uplifted. So that is our personal development tribe on Facebook, Power Personified Tribe, and in that it's a generic. We don't talk about any businesses or anything like that, use any business names. There are people from all walks of life, all companies and businesses who are part of that tribe there on Facebook. So guys, I love you all so much. Remember, you are more powerful than you know. Let's go here today in action. Everything that we learned and heard and was reiterated here on this call today, and then we'll see you back on Wednesday. You are more powerful than you know. Have a great day, everybody. Bye-bye.